Live on a Friday. We will give everybody just a couple of minutes to see who all is able to join. It will be interesting to see what the initial video looked like on the beginning of these LinkedIn lives. I think now I understand why so many people have the trailer. Actually, it's not a trailer; it's more of an introductory video, that animation of where things count down, so that when they come on, they don't look like me staring off into the wild blue, with the wild blue yonder. Anyhow, I hope you are having an awesome Friday. I'm not seeing anybody inside here. Last week we had, or on Monday we had a little bit more of a delay than we did in the previous weeks. I think we're down to like a 30-second. I think we're about a 30-second delay. So again, I'm watching to see if there are any comments. Barring any comments, I will just roll into the recap for the week. So the week started with the the quote from Margaret Mead: "Never underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has." But pretty powerful quote from Margaret Mead. And I actually, when I used that quote in the past, I didn't realize that that's who it had come from. And as all of us use quotes and reflect back on pieces of information, nuggets that have been shared with us, it's important to give credit. It's important to let people know that the reason you see as far as you do is because you stand on the shoulders of giants, which is a Newton quote. And we all know, as informed by Marie Antoinette, there's nothing new but what has been forgotten. So, the many times it might be the first time that someone is hearing it, so it might be new to them, but it likely is not the first time it's ever been uttered. So, when we talk about what a small group of people who are highly passionate about a given topic can accomplish, it is pretty powerful. You bring together think tanks that can help be really creative when it comes to problem solving. You bring together a passionate group of people that are inside a startup, inside an early stage organization, that are in the process of taking on a number of the bigger players that are out there in the marketplace and driving innovation. The key piece here in the Margaret Mead quote is committed. Committed. If you're working on something and you're not committed to it, you probably shouldn't be working on it. Or at a minimum, you're likely not putting your best self into that work. So then on Tuesday, we talked a bit about stalls, and this is the tactical Tuesday view of things. What is it that's getting in the way of deals moving forward? What is it that gets in the way of uh, of conversations converting from one thing to a next? And a lot of times the stall happens for a couple of reasons. One, it just needs to happen. If you think about smoking brisket or smoking large pieces of meat in a smoker, there's a stall that happens, and you just have to be patient and work through it. You just have to let it work through that part of the process. You become extremely uncomfortable with it if you are not aware of it. And actually, when it comes to smoking brisket or smoking pork, you become extremely uncomfortable with the stall if the stall is not moving quick enough, and you're going to be a little bit late on being able to serve dinner. But planning for that stall can help you not overreact to things. Now, other ways that you can help push through the stall is you can turn the temperature up a little bit, again, overreact slightly, or you can be really clear about what the next logical step is. Actually, the next logical step, and maybe even the two steps after that, and plan appropriately for those. So this is where next steps can be really important in helping overcome those stalls, helping break through those stalls. On Wednesday, we went into um, how do you move how can you, from a forecasting perspective, create a level of predictability in when deals are going to close? Now, here's the beauty of sales: you're not buying from yourself, so it's really hard to predict with a high level uh, of accuracy. I mean, we're not going to be Nostradamus when it comes to saying this is the date that it is going to close, but we should have an understanding from a directionally relevant perspective based on compelling events. Compelling events can be things like fiscal years, when budgets become available. A compelling event could be a time period that's going to happen inside the organization where all of a sudden things have to go quiet so that other things could get done. If your software isn't implemented, or if the deal is not executed by the time that they move into that quiet period, then it's likely that things are going to push out a bit further along. So in order to create a higher level of predictability in your forecasting, especially your long-term forecasting, understand what those compelling events are. If you don't know what the compelling event is, or you haven't been able to identify the compelling event, then you're leaving a lot of things up to chance. You're kind of saying I hope that the deal happens by this period of time. Now, um, this should be no surprise, but if your compelling event is the fiscal year and you're in the last month of that fiscal year and your deal is still in qualification, still early stage, um, it's not going to close. So even though you have the compelling event, your predictability relative to your forecast is pretty low because you've not seen things advance through the stages. Anyhow, on Thursday, I did a really, really, really rough example of trying to work my way through a story relative to founders that are struggling with running out of cash inside their business and how revenue enablement can work to solve that. So if you've watched that, it's a bit painful to watch me read the script. Craig Seibert has tried to push me into doing some more scripting, and I've just struggled with it. I don't know if it's because I struggle with the writing side, or it's because I allow myself to be distracted. But after going through that exercise, I'm committing to myself that I will get better, at least on some of the shorter things that I want to make sure I deliver succinctly. And you can see some of that stuff up on the whiteboard. So there's the overview of the week. What I like on any of these, the thing that I like to understand is, what did you learn? What did you apply? And what are you doing differently now? What did you learn? What did you apply? And what are you doing differently now? And I am looking at LinkedIn right now, and I'm actually seeing that there are a couple of comments inside the inside. Actually, you know what? That's from last week. So, anyhow, this is the joy of doing live radio, LinkedIn live. So, it's not really live radio. I hope you had an awesome week. Hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day for those of you who did some celebration last night. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the week. Thank you.